Alrighty. Let's continue. And hopefully finish off part 3. Do I have my water? I got some water. Not a lot though. Not to refill. Ah, Niran, impeccable timing. We have just received a letter from Lord Hien. He writes that Domans are coordinating their efforts with the Blue Kojin to maintain a constant watch over the Red. By staying on the lookout for signs of crystal hoarding and the like, they mean to nip any summoning attempts in the bud, thereby satisfying the conditions for peace set down by the ambassador. On the Garlean's part, the Popularis has sent word that a vessel bearing Doman conscripts is soon to arrive in Yangsha. It would seem that the prison exchange is to proceed as planned. Lord Hien requests your presence, and I share his view that you should be on his hand at the critical juncture. Very well. According to the letter, Yotsuyu's memory has yet to return, so it looks like she'll be living out the rest of her days in Doma. Assuming the ambassador means to honor the agreement, of course. Before we get to that, however, I think it should be wise to assess her condition one last time. If the Domans have missed any change in her mental state, however slight, it would be better if Asahi weren't on the one to spot it. Agreed. Let us make straight ways for the Enclave then. Lord Hien will be waiting. I trust you will cope in our absence, Satoru? Don't worry about me. I'll be just fine. Just be sure to come back safely. Hakuro. Ah, I see my letter reached you across the Ruby Sea. Thank you for coming so swiftly. Though I wrote at length some length on the subject of the forthcoming exchange, there was one other matter I neglected to mention. It concerns Gosetsu. As you may have observed, he returned from his ordeal rather worse for wear, and despite his best efforts to conceal his condition, or perhaps because of them, he recently collapsed. Good God, is he alright? Confined to bed and grumbling without cease, but he has shown signs of recovery. He made me promise not to tell you, lest you worry unduly, which is all very well that when you weren't here. Now that you are here, however, I think it's high time he receives some visitors. When you spare him a moment, Yotsuyu has scarce left his side, and I imagine you are curious to see what has become of her as well. We will visit him at once. Niran, Alice, shall we?
Open wide now.
Knock, knock.
Please, Tsuyu. I'm not so frail that I cannot feed myself. I grow weary of the taste of gruel.
You don't like it? Can I fetch you something else?
Aye, wine. Or if that is not wholesome enough, I don't know. A sweet persimmon from Namai? I enjoyed them in my youth.
A persimmon?
Nay, pay me no mind. I am full. Besides, we have guests.
I hope we are not interrupting your meal. We had heard you were confined to bed and thought you might welcome some visitors.
Confined to... a gross exaggeration. A trifle drained from my exertions, perhaps, but with a little rest, I shall be fighting fit again in no time.
Take off your clothes.
Whoa!
Gosetsu, is this how you've been spending your time?
My lady, I assure you this is not.
Off with them. We need to wash you. You stink.
So I can smell them from here.
What are all these scars? There are so many of them.
A life of battle will leave its mark upon a man. Is something wrong, Tsuyu?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
But leave me be, woman. I will not be fussed over like some newborn babe.
They make a convincing pair, do they not? On first acquaintance, I would think them a doting grandsire and her a model grandchild. Indeed, had someone told me a year ago that I would live to bear witness to such a scene, I would have declared them mad. That aside, I'm relieved to see Gosetsu has lost none of his spirit. But what a turn of events! I mean, for her to suddenly be watching over him, you couldn't make it up, although I suppose Gosetsu is an old man. With the way he charges through life, it can be easy to forget. Aye, he's resisted decrepitude with the same defiance he showed the enemies of Doma. But no matter how adamant his will, no man can carry on forever. He's pushed himself beyond the limits of endurance too many times. Even if his health returns, the fact remains, he will never again be the warrior he once was. He has given all for his liege and land, and we will ask no more. And what of his nurse? If Yotsuyu is feigning that, well, she certainly has me fooled. This is not... I'm gonna say it's Yugiri. This is no pretense. Yeah, it is her. Nice. Nailed it. Yugiri, out of all of us, I think you're the hardest to convince, so what makes you so sure? I have been spying on Yotsuyu from the shadows, waiting for the misstep that would betray her charade for what it was. But her mask has never slipped. Not once. She has remained character from the first. One evening, I watched her. She sat in her chambers unguarded and alone. She had taken the dishes from the cupboard and was pretending to prepare dinner right there on the tatami. A child's game. Even the wearer shinobi would not go to such lengths. I can't but conclude that her mind is truly broken. Well, that's good enough for me, and everyone else I would hazard. Aye, the matter's settled. Yotsuyu will become Tsuyu, begin a new life here in Doma. For that can happen, however, we will need to present her to the ambassador one last time to prove that her memory is truly gone. I would not risk parading her in front of our returning conscripts. Her presence at the exchange would only stir up mutinous thoughts. Understandably, she is good fastened to chains. She as good as fastened the chains around their necks. Aye, which is why I mean to conclude the business with Tsuyu first, out of sight of my countrymen. Will you help me? We are at your service. There is no higher purpose than the pursuit of peace. My thanks. The Garleans are on the way, and we must prepare to welcome the ambassador. We will meet you at the docks with Tsuyu. Do. Shall we wait here then? Lord Hien should not be long. My friends, have you seen Yotsuyu? She is nowhere to be found. What? But the Garleans will be landing in a matter of moments. If she's fled, could it be her memories have returned? I know not. Yagiri is scouring the streets as we speak, but it is possible Yotsuyu has left the Enclave altogether. Captain, a word. By chance did you perchance carry a fair-skinned woman across the river? Fair-skinned woman, my lord? I don't really know, I think. Yes, my lord, now that you mention it, there was a lady among the passengers. We do not recall having seen before. Her face was hidden by the brim of her hat, but I remember taking her hand to help her on the boat. Well, it's new fallen snow it was. She's someone important, my lord. Have I done something wrong? Wrong? Oh, no, I was merely hoping to catch our guest before she departed. Be at ease, Captain. Seeing that Tsuyu has crossed the river, call me, help me, no good can come from this. It seems Tsuyu has gone unrecognized thus far, but call me helpless if someone catches a clear view of her face. Must find her before that happens. Responsibility for her disappearance, for all of this, lies with me. I would ask for your aid nonetheless. We are at your service, Lord Hien, now as before. Let's make the crossing and begin our search. You go on ahead, someone should let Yagiri know what we learned, and I'll join you on the other side. With no way of knowing where Tsuyu is headed, so we must divide our forces. I will take Kusakari and surrounds. I'll know if you would take the road to Castrum Flumnus. Naren, forgive me, but could I ask you to interrogate the residents of Yazuka Manor? One of the Navazu may have seen our quarry. Everyone is in agreement, let us board the skiff and hope the Kami smile upon our efforts. Gotta hurry. Gil-san. Welcome to Izuka Manor. Yes. Is there anything you care to know? You only need a pale-skinned woman. I have seen no such traveler, I'm sorry to say. Oh, sorry. Scaly-skinned Namazu, on the other hand, we have in abundance. Gyoku. Unusually pale-skinned. Yes, I saw this woman on the way back from my fishing trip. She had crossed the shallows east of here and was headed in northeasterly direction, for the most part. Her steps did not seem certain. You hurry, you might still catch her. See no sign of Yotsuyu to the north. Perhaps she is somewhere further off to the northeast. Still no sign of Yotsuyu. Perhaps she is yet further to the northeast. Like to Namai. Yotsuyu is nowhere to be seen, but lying on the ground a short distance north you spy a familiar-looking wide-brimmed hat. Uh-oh. Cursory glance is all that is required to confirm your suspicions. It is the same hat Yotsuyu was wearing when you found her in Sakazuki. Niran, before you ask, a search of Kusakari and its surroundings has yielded exactly naught, save this chance for reunion with you, I suppose. Mistress Alexei has gone to assist her brother at the castrum. It was she who informed me of the situation. I joined Lord Heian here shortly thereafter. How did you fare at Yuzuka Manor? Any sign of a missing guest? I found her hat here. She can't be too far away. Towards the Mai, by the kami, if the villagers recognize her, it would not end well. We must hurry. Yugiri and I will check the paddies. The village square is yours. Come on, where are you?
Greetings. Might I have one of your... Wait! Please! I only wanted a persimmon.
Kami, save us! Her spirit has returned!
She's back from the dead to seek her revenge!
It can't be. She couldn't have survived.
What did I do?
As if you don't know!
Good people of Namai, be at ease, I pray you. You have naught to fear.
My lord, forgive me, but what is that monster doing here? They told us she was dead.
I too was surprised to learn of her survival. More even than you, I would hazard. 'Twas I who cut her down, I who left her to her fate. But it would seem the kami had other plans. By some miracle, both she and Gosetsu were spared when the keep collapsed, though Yotsuyu's preservation came at the cost of her memory.
You're saying she's forgotten? Forgotten everything she's done?
Lies! Lies, my lord! She would say anything to escape punishment!
What does it matter? We have not forgotten her crimes, and we demand justice! I beg of you, Lord Heian, draw your blade and rid us of this canker!
What I saw then, it's all true. I'm sorry! I'm so sorry.
You're sorry? And what? We're supposed to forgive you?
Here, there's no need to cry. Can't you see how scared she is? How can you be scared of her? She's not the same.
Until such time as her memories return, this woman shall be known as Tsuyu, and treated as a citizen of Doma. I will, however, see that she is watched at all times. Rest assured that there will be no more unannounced visits to the village. As your lord, I ask that you leave her fate in my hands, and suffer her to live, for now.
Please, Issei.
All right. I'll keep my peace. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Everyone's like, fine, I guess. Oh, that would have been better avoided, but at least it did not end in bloodshed. And judging by Tsuyu's reaction, she remains oblivious to the events of her former life. This was no escape attempt. Nay, it seems it was an offhand request of Gosetsu's which brought her here to Namai. She came in search of a persimmon. Huh, they say the fruit is good for the health. I do hope Gosetsu finds the taste to his liking. We can certainly take the long way around, but let us continue on the question of Flumnus. Now, meeting with the ambassador, Alphano and Alizé should still be there conducting the search. And it's gonna be a long flight to Flumnus. Oh, shooting star. Really wish it wasn't nighttime at this point. But then again, no, it's a new moon. Never mind. Seems our imperial guests have already arrived. It's time we meet with the ambassador.
What a pleasure it is to see you once more, Lord Hien. Not to mention my dear sister.
A pleasure to see you too, Ambassador. Forgive us our late arrival. You have our people aboard the airship?
Exactly as agreed. We would leave you in no doubt as to the purity of our intentions. I dare say it was the self-same spirit of cooperation which prompted you to bring Yotsuyu here today.
Indeed. Before excluding her from the exchange, I thought it only fair that you see her condition for yourself. Physically, she is in fine health, but her mind is unchanged.
So I see. But all need not necessarily be lost. In anticipation of this tragic turn of events, I took the liberty of inviting some special guests.
Ah, Yotsuyu. You look well.
Of all the people.
Is something wrong, dear sister? These are our beloved parents. Does not the sight of them bring back sweet childhood memories?
Gosetsu. I have to take this to Gosetsu.
It would seem my little surprise was not sufficient. You needn't glare at me so, Lord Here. I merely did what any loving son would do for his family. Lest you doubt, I am content to leave the acting viceroy in your care. Pray, treat her as you would any daughter of Doma. Do not grow too fond of this place, dear sister. You will come back to us ere long.
We continue with the exchange as planned, then.
Very good. The structure across the river should serve our needs. We shall await you there with the conscripts. If you would bring your captives.
Agreed. Until then, Ambassador.
It's an awful lot of crates. I knew better than to trust Asahi, but that was a dirty trick. Still, unpleasant as it was, we at least put the matter of Tsuyu's future to rest. I sent her back to the Enclave with Yugiri to give Gosetsu his precious specimen. Come, let us follow them. You have that look, Alphino. What is it? Oh, nothing of consequence, most like. We can discuss it upon our return. We should pay a visit to Gosetsu and reassure him of Tsuyu's fate. He will want to know that the Empire has fully relinquished its claim on her.
Gosetsu, are you awake?
My lord, come in, come in. When Tsuyu returned, her eyes were red from weeping. She spoke not a word, simply sat and peeled some fruit she'd brought for me. She then claimed weariness and retired to her chamber. Tell me, what happened to upset her so?
The ambassador arranged a surprise reunion with her foster parents. A misguided attempt to restore Yotsuyu to her senses. It was plain their presence caused her great distress, but she seemed otherwise unaffected.
Yotsuyu was mistreated as a child, was she not? It was a cruel trick to use her tormentors like that, knowing the pain it could cause.
I like this Asahi less and less.
Be that as it may, he has agreed to allow Yotsuyu to remain with us in Doma. Our primary concern now is to hand over the prisoners without incident and bring our people safely home.
There was one other detail at the meeting which caught my attention. I assume you all noticed the rather suspect crates within the castrum. The Imperials were quick to retrieve them afterwards, but I wonder...
Out with it, brother. You fear they might contain bombs or war machines?
If the ambassador wanted me dead, he has had ample opportunity. No, assassination is not his intent, but we should be on our guard for other acts of treachery.
My lord! Forgive me, but the Lady Yotsuyu, she's gone!
Gone?
I beg your pardons, my lords. I was certain she'd fallen asleep.
No, the responsibility is mine. 'Twas I who gave her a room instead of a cell. She may simply have wandered outside. We will organize search parties. Might I call upon your assistance?
Of course. I have a knack for finding things. If I was an amnesiac pretty lady, where would I be?
Help!
Oh, it's you guys.
Help! Help me!
Oh, bad time for an echo.
If only I hadn't remembered. He should hate me. But I will not suffer his kindness. Not after what I did to him.
Who's there?
Oh, it's you. What are you doing out here in the dark?
This is the Enclave, is it? When the soldiers dragged us back to Doma, you were the last person I expected to see.
And you know what's funny is that I have the Enclave all fixed up and nice, but the cutscene is showing it before that was implemented, which is hilarious.
You're the bane of our existence, Yotsuyu. A font of misery. You couldn't even do us the simple courtesy of dying, could you? Oh, no. You had to live and taint us with the shame of your failure. We had a perfect life in the capital, and now they're making us wallow in this muddy ruin like common swine. I don't deserve this.
Now, dear, that'll do. There seems little point in berating the girl when she scarcely remembers her own name. Our time would be better spent contemplating how we're to survive this unhappy predicament. You've kept your looks, at least. I suspect you'd fetch a handsome price with the right buyer. Maybe enough to get us to Kugane and start a new business.
Ah, my beloved parents. No sooner do I wake from gentle slumber than the world returns in all its cruelty. Yes, this is how it always was. How it was meant to be. Very well. If I cannot escape my nature, then I shall embrace it. To the very depths I have sunk, my soul steeped in spite and rotten to the core. The self-righteous hide behind justice, but I need no such mask. Father, Mother, was it not you who made me into this monster? Who taught me the truth of this miserable world? For years I knew naught but the taste of pain and humiliation. But the time has come to savor my vengeance against Doma. Against all my enemies. And it begins with you!
Yotsuyu! What?
I would feel bad, but they deserve it.
Well done, dear sister. Did I not say you would come back to us?
Brother dearest, what a surprise. You always were a cold-blooded little worm. I doubt you thought twice about sending our parents to their deaths.
Your dagger yet drips with their blood, and you presume to judge me? To be frank, I didn't think you had the strength to slay them so cleanly. A single thrust each. I'm impressed. But surely you can't be satisfied with murdering a pair of doddering elders. You yearn for a deeper vengeance, and the power to see it through.
Die?
Well, too late for that, buddy.
Any sign of her?
No, unfortunately.
What happened here?
Long story short, the Witch of Doma is back.
I knew what would happen if she recovered. And still, I did nothing. You say she left with her brother? Whatever he wants with her, he was willing to pay for it with his parents' lives. But this is neither the time nor the place. We must gather the others.
Womp womp. We have recovered the Nayuri's remains and will hold the cremation anon. Would they have never set foot again in Doma? Well, never again. Broke the news to Kosetsu myself. He was quiet. I think it best that he be allowed some time alone with his thoughts. So, my friends, that which we feared had come to pass. Yotsuyu has regained her memory and returned to the Imperial fold. It is, by any measure, a cruel twist, not least for Kosetsu, but one which does not invalidate our agreement. According to the terms of the contract, we were bound to surrender Yotsuyu in the Garlean's hands should her condition improve prior to the hour of the exchange. By that reckoning, all is, if not should be, then, as it must be, this I can accept. But what I cannot accept is the unconsiderable lengths to which Asahi went to achieve this outcome. Given his recent conduct and the apparent admiration for Xenos, it is plain he cannot be trusted. That's to say nothing of the unexplained containers he insists on bringing to our meetings. But if the ambassador is planning, unlikely our negotiations will end peacefully. In the event of hostilities, the safety of the conflict must be our first concern. As such, I would have an escape route in place before the meeting begins. A wise precaution in the main structure of Castrum Flumnus is to be the stage for the exchange, and I believe a thorough inspection is in order. The citadel has stood empty ever since the Imperial withdrawal. While we took steps to ensure that it could not be defended by an occupying force, it is entirely possible that the ambassador has arranged things there to his advantage. I will slip inside, make certain that we have an unobstructed exit. Pray allow me to join you. I have some experience of Imperial facilities, and some matters should take a turn for the worse, though to be at least of some use. Very good. That should be enough to guarantee us a way out of the castrum. Beyond that, however, we will need a ship to ferry the conscripts back to the Enclave. Even with every skiff we have, it would take several trips to evacuate everyone. A Confederate Sekaboon, on the other hand, we would only require a single run, and leave us far less vulnerable into the water. Assuming, of course, Rochelle could be advanced to par with one. Might I take lead on this? Having dealings with Rochelle and his pirates before. I won't be alone, will I, Niran? Hey, you know, you can count on me. Much appreciated. Quite fancy parlaying with pirates again. It's a shame Lise won't be there to reprise her role. I'm certain you will make up a face to pair, but I think I will accompany you in these negotiations all the same. My lord, the rule of Doma should not be consorted with common brigands. Come now, you giddy. They stood with us against the Empire. If we would ask their aid once more, we will treat with them as equals. My presence shall serve to demonstrate our sincerity. Indeed, my lord, pray forgive my presumption. By your leave, Master Alphino, I will be about our task. And we should be on our way to Onokoro. Time is short, and Russia may take some convincing. Oh, what am I doing shouting? Now there's a face I did not expect to see. What brings the noble Lord of Doma into the company of bilge-rats such as we? If you come to offer dumb in chains in place of Garlean ones, then I'm afraid you've wasted a trip. What fine subjects you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts will be hastened tenfold. But let us speak seriously. I stand before you not to demand your fealty, but to request your aid once more. Mayhap you are confused. Doma's liberations was but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive, we have sworn no oath to you, and will not come running like hounds at those masters whistle. And I would not presume to treat you thus. I come to petition your cooperation as an ally of equal standing. Equal standing, you say? Seems a bit lopsided to me. What's the profit for us in all this? Profits? Must you always think in such short-sighted terms? Have you ever heard of doing the right thing? Have you ever heard of pirates, little miss? You'll find we're simple souls. You pay our tithe, you sail in peace. Deny us our due, and we take it by force. We'll pull you out of the water if we see you drowning, but we're not in the business of doing something for nothing. Calm yourself, Mistress Asahi. We did not come here to moralize. We came here to talk. There's more to be said. According to records recovered after the liberation, relatives of your Doman-born brethren were among conscripted into the Imperial Army. As you may be aware, we have recently negotiated the return of said conscripts. Many, alas, will arrive to find no families waiting for them, no homes to grant them shelter. I ask that you offer them a place in the Confederacy. You would not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and sisters into your ranks. And has not the Confederacy been in need of new recruits? Fair, he's got us there. You seem well informed of our affairs, Lord Heian. Losses we suffered at the Garlean's hands are no secret, but since we drove them out of Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels to tax, and so few pirates to tax them. We could do with some more hands on decks, and doubly so if they're familiar with the inner workings of the Empire. Very well, the Confederacy agrees to your request. You will have your ship. Before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind was damaged during a battle with the Empire. Though we have mended her, she has not been declared she's yet been declared seaworthy. She's sound enough down below. When you load her up with conscripts and the waterline rises, those planks had best be free of cracks. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, you will do me the favor of swing around the hull and check for weaknesses. That is, if Doman Lords are not averse to getting the ropes wet. Not this Doman Lord. We inspect a third of the ship, and we done in thrice. That's the spirit. Your ship is more than a quick escape pier. Our apprentice shipwright will be on deck to hear your report. Look for a lad named Ihanashi. I thought you had an eye and a knack for parleying with pirates. For the record, my previous debt was unmitigated success, and yes, I should have quit while I was ahead. Well, well. I thought the rumor was exaggerated, but the young lord lives up to his reputation. Just checking to see if anybody wanted to help. No one yet. Spy a small crack. See no signs of damage. I am the shipwright, apprentice shipwright. Did you find anything that might need attention? The section I inspected seems solid enough. I uncover a small crack on the west side of the ship. On the port side near the bow, you say? Alright, I'll have a look and see what I can do. My apologies, I seem to have lagged behind. Could float in that gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I am happy to report no visible cracking or holes in my section of the hull. Your Lord Hien, the captain sent you to inspect the hull. Come and have mercy. Forgive us this discourtesy, my lord. It is quite alright. I enjoyed it. In fact, I rather enjoyed it. Take it you have Doma. Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away in the uprising, and I had nowhere else to turn. The Confederacy became my family. Someone told me they're releasing conscripts now. Maybe my father will be among them. Not that I can go back. There's no leaving once you've joined. Fair as our lady, is she seaworthy? Captain, we found a small crack on the port side, but I'll have it fixed before you know it. So you've met the boy? Did he tell you a story? He babbles when he's nervous. Should his father be among the conscripts as he hopes, I mean to give him the choice to leave his life. If he so chooses, I expect to see you there provided for. I heard that those who join the Confederacy will swear all ties to kin and homeland. That are so easily put aside. If I allow it. I seen him, the lad I was 25 years ago. You say the words, you mean them, but the yearning for home still lingers. My family is long dead, and I know this life is my lot. But he has scarce dipped his toes with us. There's a life for him in Doma, he should have the chance to live it. Well said. The Empire's conquest has uprooted many and more, be it in Yangsha or out in the Ruby Sea. We have a duty to ensure that Isaharashi and others like him are free to dwell where they desire. Then the matter is settled. We'll make preparations to cast off. Well, my friends, it seems we have our ship. Let's return to the Enclave. Oh man, there's an S rank. I better put this on pause. God, come on, game. It's been a while since we had an S rank here. Whoa. Okay, some people are still on the way. Bonk him. Kill him. And he's dead. Never turn down an S rank. You see an S rank spawn, you go to it, because who knows when the next one will show up. Especially in the Turning Mists. Oh boy. Haven't seen one there in forever. Alright, let's try this again. Seems security and Alphanil completed the task before us. They've been waiting. We scouted the structure and determined the swiftest path to safety. In the event of hostilities, we will lead the conscripts outside with all possible haste. From there, the Confederacy has pledged to ship the ferries across the One River. Now we have but to attend the exchange and pray to the Kami these precautions were unnecessary. While we were putting our contingency plans in place, I left Hakuro in charge of organizing transport for the Imperial prisoners. He will say they arrived at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous with our Confederate allies. Come, meet us on the riverbank, not far from the castrum. Do 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 do. At least it's night, so bright daytime at 2 p.m., which means it will be night soon. I oppose civil then. I am ready for what lies ahead, I trust. Lest there be any confusion though, the tower across the water will be the scene of the exchange, that and whatever else Asahi has planned. But regardless of the ambassador's intentions, we will bring our people home. Yugiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble. Yes, my lord. We, meanwhile, shall cover their escape and lend what support we can. Your ship awaits you at the Castrum's loading docks. She will see you safely home. Then all stand ready to play their part. Come, let us be about it.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Doma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are. Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
Oh, the supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Doma's restoration. I meant to gift them to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion, welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
Are you perhaps referring to me, Lord Hien?
Oh no, she's hot again. In the evil way.
Yotsuyu.
Orphan of the Nairi, widow of Sashihai, and acting viceroy of Doma. You and your people are mine to govern, mine to punish.
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the Ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire. Your authority as acting viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself. will reign here in this putrid, pestilent swamp until the last of you has been broken. This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon!
What has she done?
Oh gods, this is a summoning.
Oh man, who saw that coming?
A Dorman citizen has called forth an Eikon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
But Ambassador!
Oh, hey, his voice changed.
Disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw! Now!
As you command.
Even he's like, dude, what the fuck?
My lord, you must fall back!
You ask me to run?
Nah, strategic withdrawal.
Spare my pride, would you? I know this foe is beyond me. The field is yours. We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul!
My lord.
I knew you would not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful light of yours. But I have become Tsukyomi, goddess of the moon and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty? I shall plunge all I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail. Come, let us cast the stalks and look upon the fate of Doma. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all!
Alright, let's see if I can get someone to help out. Speaking of which, beep. Damn. Oh yeah, way too high. Well, maybe. Just maybe. Yikes, 23 minutes. Just gonna run in circles real quick. I'll be right back. So let's me run all the way up here. Maybe I have a friend on? No. Brain. Good job. Journey's in roulette at the moment. We can two-man it. Double DPS.
It's going to be a long night. Whoa!
Oops, messed that up.
Your end is near. Your death will be all the sweeter.
Really, Frank? Always the cat has to knock something over.
In darkness blooms the spider lily. From mortal husk I rise anew. Suffused with night, I shall prevail.
Ow. That actually hurt. Oh. Vash is dead.
In moonlight's chill shine petals pale. No. Not yet. Not yet. I'll grind you under my heel.
Oh no. No. This is gonna kill me. Ow. 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 Oh, I lived. But I can't heal anymore. Ow.
Oh, it's going to be a long night. Whoa! Your end is near.
Ow, ow, ow.
Your death will be all the sweeter.
I think Vash forgot to switch sides and died. I'm running circles around her.
In darkness blooms the spider lily. From mortal heights I rise anew. Suffused with night, I shall prevail.
Oh, come on, Vash. Don't the stack get to 4 or 5. God damn it, Vash.
In moonlight's chill shine petals pale.
Hey, Vash survived. It's too close, though.
No. Not yet. Not yet.
Defeated it is the Eikon. Oh shit. How do you shoot from down there?
You really must learn to finish the job.
I was working on it, you little shit.
'Tis true that a gaudy mirror and a handful of crystals make for a feeble summoning. But even the weakest Eikon is a god of sorts. A threat that must be put down. My, such hostility. These beings are the sworn enemies of the Empire. I merely did my duty as an Imperial officer.
You also caused the summoning in the first place.
Will you surrender to anger then? Slay an anointed emissary to avenge a fallen foe?
Don't tempt me.
You cannot, of course! To do so would burn the bridges we have labored so hard to build.
Oh, but I'm forgetting. They're already ash. This doorman woman has seen to that. The Empire cannot ally itself with any nation that refuses to renounce summoning. I believe I was most clear on that point.
Well, then by that logic, I get to freely stab you.
It should have been mine. The power he bestowed upon her. I should have been the one to govern Doma. I would have repaid his faith.
No one alive loves him more than I!
Instead, this harlot betrayed his trust. Useless piece of filth! Worthless whore!
Thank you, dear brother, for this precious gift. Vengeance. These people, our people, they ignore the corruption which festers beneath the surface. Cast aside that which is dirty and broken. Speak not of things which would disrupt their dreary little lives. Like you, Asahi. Always pretending not to see. You were the first. The first I swore to kill. Such bliss. I had thought my hunger insatiable. But now I am satisfied. You should feel honored, dear brother. I saved the last of my strength, just for you. What's the matter? The Witch of Doma will soon be dead.
Setsu will mourn you.
He will mourn to you, perhaps. I wonder, Was the fruit as sweet as he remembered?
Lord Xenos. I am at your disposal.
Asahi, you were born of Doma, yes?
Yes, my lord. I am honored that you would remember me. How may I serve?
You are hereby appointed Ambassador Plenipotentiary, and empowered to speak with the voice of the Emperor. Return to your native land of Doma, and announce your intention to sue for peace.
For peace?
Once negotiations are underway, you are to locate the acting viceroy.
She lives? That is to say, I will, my lord.
When you have found her, you will initiate a ritual to call forth an Eikon. I will instruct you in the necessary steps. Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable, but as a child raised to believe in the Kami, she will serve as a vessel for one of the Kojin's gods. She need only wish it to be so. The power will seem a gift, but the Eikon's essence will consume her. She will be no more than a husk, a slave to whim and desire.
My lord, ever since the day you saw fit to save my miserable life, I have dreamed of repaying your benevolence. Upon my honor, I swear to devote myself wholly to your service. All that you command will be done, no matter the cost. But I fear the subtleties of your plan yet elude me. From the reports I have heard, the champion who aids the Doman resistance would make short work of a single Eikon.
The Eikon is merely a message. The pacifist teachings of the Popularis spread through this city like a plague. And I would remind the people of the threat we face. You will be my chosen agent. The hand which tolls the warning bell.
Oops.
Your chosen agent.
Finger slip.
I will not fail you, my lord. My master, Lord Xenos, he will come for you.
You have prevailed, I see.
Unfortunately.
She is gone? Wherefore did the Kami spare us, only to inflict this pain?
Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
Lord Hien!
Maxima, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
I entertain thoughts of escape even now. But our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here. But it seemed to me there was more to the tale.
Xenos is behind this plot.
I have heard tell of this power you wield. And in your vision, you witnessed Lord Xenos giving these orders.
How can that be? Xenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo. I saw his body with my own eyes.
I saw him slit his throat. Hell, I fought him to the death.
Forgive me, but Lord Xenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hien's confusion. The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an impostor has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Court? The idea is inconceivable, absurd. But worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
Your efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect them?
Yes. As the late ambassador's second in command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Then let us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
Indeed. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlean.
Tread lightly, Pilus. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Imposter or no, if Xenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Asian waiting in the wings. Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Were you indeed willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk his life on countless occasions. Next to him, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield.
Hey, come on, you've healed my sorry butt plenty of times.
But in the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
Well. This is your moment.
'Tis not for me to stop you. But I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
Go then. You've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything reckless, all right?
I shall be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
Good luck, Alpha now. I knew Asahi was planning some manner of treachery, but a summoning? Thank the kami you're here, my friend. None of us would have escaped Yotsuyu's vengeance had you not intervened. She was a pawn, aye, but she still had a choice, and she chose to submit to the ambassador's plan. It's little wonder Gosetsu departed in silence. I gather he left the same way he came, alone aboard a rowing boat. As for the conscripts, most of them made it to Sekibun before the battle began in earnest, but the vessel yet awaits on the riverbanks for those who did not flee in time. And I suggest we put this doleful place behind us and make for the Enclave together. It would be a shame to miss a joyous reunion. Dad, son.
How often have I imagined this moment? Thank you for helping it come to pass.
There you are.
Gosetsu. Bald, 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 bald.
Gosetsu, your hair.
My friend, what have you done?
An old man who cannot raise his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage, I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
All of them?
Safe travels, Gosetsu.
A fulsome farewell makes for an enjoyable journey.
Scarcely have we said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Doma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
You have earned it 1,000 times over. Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh, and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before. And with that, I take my leave.
Hopefully on a full stomach. Don't need you keeling over midway because you're hungry. Ah, Gosetsu, a fair journey to you, my friend. But a sweet occasion, but yet there is ample cause to be grateful. Pray join us in Eikon. Thank you properly. I think the kami spotted that cracked plank. The ship ended up bringing my father home. The captain said, well, let's just say I'm not a pirate anymore. I'm going to live in Doma with my father. We're free. Our brothers and sisters are returned to us, and the dream of Doma's restoration is now much closer to being realized. It's a day that will live long in memory, and one that would never have dawned without the courageous actions of the Sons. On behalf of Doma and her people, we give you our deepest thanks. As you think me complacent, I assure you I have not forgotten the dark cloud on the horizon. As Xenos lives is a source of grave concern. Mayhap the gravest, yet there is little to be done but to wait for Alphino to send word. Till then, I will devote myself to fulfill the promise I made to Gosetsu of building a nation in which none need live in fear. I confess I miss him already, but the thought that he has last found peace goes some way of softening the blow. I wonder, did you ever stop to ask yourself why he showed Yotsuyu such kindness? I believe the answer lies in past tragedy, specifically the death of his wife and daughter during the invasion. Though he hid it well, they were never far from his thoughts, and Yotsuyu's childlike mien, I believe he saw not a fallen tyrant, but a little girl who was lost to him. After the loss of his family, Gosetsu devoted himself wholly to the service of his country. He suffered any hardship, strove beyond the limits of endurance without hesitation or complaint. Though Tsuyu could never truly replace his daughter, I had hoped that with her at his side, he might live out the remainder of his days in relative contentment. Would that the kami had been so minded. Even now I labor to discern any meaning in Yotsuyu's fate. To deliver her from certain death with no memory of her sins, only to leave her at the mercy of her stepbrother. Could truly that have been their will? That I cannot tell you. The will of the kami is not for us to know. What I do know is that for a brief moment, a girl known as Tsuyu lived among us. And what she brought with her, a whisper of respite for a grieving heart. I think it's time we were going, don't you? We've done all we can here, and we have a lot to report. Before we head back to the Rising Stone, let's call it in at Ralgo's Reach. We should be the ones to tell Lise about Xenos. After everything we went through together, we owe her that. Bye, guys. Oh, Lise, I bring good news and bad news. Nier and Alize, you're back. No Alpha now. It's good to see you, Lise. As for my headstrong brother, he's off on what will almost certainly turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Garlean. It's a long story, but we have evidence that Xenos might still be alive. What? But that's... This is a joke. Gods, it's better be a joke. Look, I know what I saw, right? We all saw it, and here you are saying he's alive and well and living the high life back in Garlean. I know how ludicrous this sounds. I'm still having difficulty believing it myself. But while I doubt the words of an Imperial envoy, I'm inclined to trust Niren's. He saw the Crown Prince of the Echo in a meeting that was only taking place in the recent past. Look, Lise, it was him. It's Xenos. No, it must... I don't know, some kind of really convincing imposter. Xenos is dead. He had a great big hole in his neck. We buried him! Aye, and someone went to the trouble of desecrating the bastard's grave, remember? Dolls, gilded halls, whatever you're talking about. Ah, it's Thancred. Thancred? What brings you to the Reach? Alphino had me lending a hand at the Saltery, keeping an eye on the rebuilding work and so on. Just until operations were up and running. And now they are, I thought I might look on you before wending my weary way back to headquarters. Forgive me if I'm not misheard, but is there some suggestion the late Crown Prince could have gotten better? So as just a quick look inside his coffin is our first order of business. As much as I hated the man, it doesn't feel right defiling his grave. But it will put the rumor to rest, I suppose we have to. And when there are no curious eyes about, we can manage it. Xenos is buried in blood how on the locks. His grave was set apart from the others and left unmarked. This does not upset the locals. It should be too hard to find. Nago, you're in charge until I get back. And what's the closest? Dun, 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 dun. This is it. God, he better be in there. Someone scrawled over the stone a while ago, but I had it scrubbed off, and I thought no more about it. So, no one thought to check the coffin was still occupied. Well then, this is one course of action. We best be sure we are not observed in doing it. Shall we begin? And suddenly nighttime.
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
Well, it must be somewhere. I only hope it isn't walking around.
Who's this? Meanwhile, thousands of miles away. Oh, meanwhile, about 30 feet away. There's no corpse, and I would to conclude the rumors are true. Not necessarily. We might still be dealing with a doppelganger of some kind. An agent could have been sent to dispose of the body in a bid to lend credence to the tale of Xenos' resurrection. More and more, however, I find myself siding with Alphino's theory of Assahian possession. Speaking from experience, I can tell you they have no qualms about taking a living host, let alone a dead one. Let's say an Assahian is walking around in Xenos' body. Seems a distinctive possibility. Once I put this grave back the way we found it, I shall pay a visit to the people responsible for interring the Crown Prince. Before leaping to any conclusions, I want to know for sure if the body was ever buried here. How certain that we are Xenos was properly dead. If he wasn't, that was some trick. As good as cut off his own head. And every Raubon needs to hear about this. If you find anything out, send word to me at Rogger's Reach. I don't know why I'm surprised. Matters of settling down in Doma were due for another crisis. Shall we make for the Rising Stones then? It's past time we share these developments with the others. Indeed. While I was waiting for you to arrive, I spoke with Urianche over Linkpro and gave him the full report. Show is on her way and should be here any... Alize, Naren, it is good to see you safe and well. What news have you from the east? Disturbing developments indeed. Given all that we know, I too would conclude the Assahian now inhabits Xenos' body. Doppelganger might fool the Crown Prince's subordinates, but Niran? Nay, Alphino had the right of it. But that his wisdom extended to the question of his own safety. Capable though he's become, he ventures alone into the enemy's stronghold, in the shadowy web of the Paragons, like as it not. When it comes to making rash decisions, I'm hardly in position to criticize, but I'm worried. I just wish there was something I could do for him besides pray. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, we cannot suffer Eikons to exist. Was I not clear on this point? More than clear. The Eikon in question was summarily dispatched by the Warrior of Light. The summoner is dead, and the right beyond repeating. Everything proceeded according to plan, every party behaving exactly as required. My methods may seem extreme, but there is no cause for concern. We're going to ensure the salvation of this star. What are you doing fiddling with that thing? I asked you a question, soldier. Have you lost your mind? I have lost many things, but my mind is yet my own. There upon the stage I stood, prepared to take my final bow, only to find that finale was but an intermission. Shall I use this chance to repent for my sins? Embrace goodness and mediocrity? Nay, I think not. While the one I yearn to face yet lives, the hunt must go on. It's been an eventful few days, hasn't it? I suppose all we can do now is wait for word from Alpha now. I recall the last time I had nothing to do. We should make the most of it. Shall I put on some tea? Tea would be lovely. Maybe regale me with a tale of your adventures in the Far East and your encounter with this new primal especially. I'll put the kettle on then. The table looks free if you have to take a seat. Yeah, deal with the seat. Interesting. So this Tsukyomi was summoned much the same manner as Susano, by the medium of a relic, of a sacred relic. That's right. They believe that gods, or kami, reside in physical objects. Given the danger they may represent, it may behoove us to begin a catalogue of such relics. But if we got to contain the threat, we will need a better understanding of the summoning method besides. Maybe we shall pay a visit to Doma and see what I can learn of the subject.
Fine idea, and I know for a fact that our friends in Doma will be grateful for any information which could help prevent further summoning in the region. I will pen you a letter of introduction. Lord Heian will wish to welcome our President Expedite Theology. Greetings. Gonna be in time for tea. Certainly looks that way. Come, sit down and tell us about how your investigations went. As you left, I went about questioning Bloodhowl's gravekeepers. They all told me much the same story. Once Lise and her officers had confirmed Xenos dead, his corpse was interred under strict supervision. Seems to be little reason to doubt their testimony on that point, but when I mentioned the defacement of Xenos' grave, accounts grew rather more vague. No one reported had seen any suspicious persons in the vicinity, and all assumed the act would have been perpetrated by the vengeful Lamigan. Crucially, however, I was able to confirm that when the offending scrawl was removed, as police instruction, no one involved thought to check the contents of the coffin. At that stage, it's likely the corpse was already missing. Assuming Xenos has, in fact, risen from the dead, we are left with two possibilities. Either the body was disposed of to lend credence to the claims of an extremely committed impostor, or an Ascian has taken up residence within it. If Asahi was as fervent devotee as he believed, he would not have been fooled by an impersonation, however committed. Let's assume that we are dealing with an Ascian and proceed accordingly. Agreed. The question is how many more such monsters are waiting for Alphino and Garlean. The presence was his chief reason for going. He understood the risks. I only hope he does not underestimate the extent of the infestation. Meanwhile, on the Imperial Hypersonic Assault Craft, 25 or 125. The L, I think the L's 100, or is the L 50? Master Alphino, we are making good speed towards our destination. Is aught amiss? Nay, 'tis I can see naught from my cabin, and I was curious to know the land over which we flew. I'm afraid our military craft are built with little thought for such niceties. However, I'm happy to indulge your curiosity. However, we are presently passing over the burn on the western edge of Othard. Even with the benefit of a porthole, your gaze would have been greeted with not but moms upon moms of lifeless earth. I read something of the burn. It was described as a desolate wasteland, bled every last drop of ether. It's believed that a succession of Eikon summonings was responsible. When Emperor Solus first came to Othard and beheld this blight, he is said to have reeled at the scale of the devastation. He declared Eikons a threat to our star's very existence and issued an empire-wide decree ordering the eradication of such entities. Report. We're under attack, sir. Magitech armor, no visible designation. Magitech, but who? There. All cannons return fire. Damage report. The main reactor's been hit. Helm's unresponsive. We're going down, sir. Damn it, they knew exactly where to hit us. All hands brace for impact. Glad to have you back, Master Alphino. We've landed in one piece, more or less. but the air filtration system is damaged and the ship's spilling with smoke. We must gather the survivors and get out while we still can. Aye. Let's go normal. Coming battle, you will fight as Alphino. Master Alphino, might I ask you to search for survivor? I will see to our injured helmsman. Look at me, I'm Alphino. Ooh, look at me, I'm Alphino. I'm gonna bring about the saving of Eorzea with the Crystal Brace. Blah blah blah. Let's see, we got Rune 3, Physic, Tri-Shackle, and Starstorm. Feel the power of magic. My thanks. I don't think I would have made it. Yes, you very likely saved his life. The question of who would try to take the remains, however. But the last few out of the misery, the prince wishes none left alive. The prince? You've not come for parley, I fear. Ready your weapons. Oh, Tri-Shackle just bounds their feet. Oh, wow. Hey, what's Carbuncle doing? Oh. Shining Moonstone. Powered by the light, increased damage done while taking damage taken. Oh, cool. I should probably start healing myself. I am dying. Bah. Focus, release. Confound it. Not here, not like this. What? Who in the Emperor's name? Enemy of our enemies. Introductions can wait. You are calm in a crisis, Master Alphino. Let us finish this then. Oh, so badass, whoever he is.
Oh, I should probably just hang out in the bubble. The worst part is you can't make Alphinaud do any emotes. But the Emperor, that man is a fiend. Cross-formation, deploy restraints. I mean, I can do the limit break now. I'm gonna wait, and if I should have used it earlier, I'm gonna be a little miffed. You know what? Whatever. Oh, thank goodness. That's a gunblade. He's Garlean. But who is he? And why is he so cool? My thanks. Your intervention proved most timely. Well, well. There's nothing to meet an Eorzean in this place, let alone a Scion. You know me, sir. I have some small history with your order. But I would speak of the present. Know your assailants and the severity of your predicament. The soldiers bore the insignia of the Emperor's personal guard. And I could venture a guess to the motive. Yet, you have us at a disadvantage, sir. Will you not tell us who you are? Our names are not yours for the asking. As for our purpose, let this be our answer. An Ascian mask. The face of our prey. You must away before more arrive. Come with us or stay, but make your choice now. Even should we manage the long trek out of the burn and secure passage to the capital, we would no doubt be greeted by the Emperor's guard. Indeed, we accept your gracious offer. Shadow Hunter will suffice for the present. So cool. Come. That's familiar. That's the mask of a legatus. Ugh, this is intolerable. But as much as I wish it were otherwise, there's nothing we can do for Alpha No but pray for his success. Well, that's not entirely true. While your brother journeys to Garlean from the east, I could make my way there from Alamigo and find out what there is to be learned in the Empire's western provinces. But I'm coming with you. I can't very well sit here sipping tea if there's action to be taken. Forgive me, Alizé, but the provinces are hostile territory and stealth is all important. Safer that I go alone. I can sneak well enough when the situation demands it. Don't patronize me. Listen, we should leave this to Thancred. Not you too. Hey, I would like to come too, but stealth is all his. I understand your frustration, Alizé, but Niran has the right of it. I must defer to Thancred's expertise in this matter. Ah, fine. Just promise you'll be careful. Seems that praying is to be the extent of my contribution after all. But I will stay behind as I have been bid. We all have our talents. Mine just happens to involve the silver tongue and soft souls. Promise to send word the moment I know an aught of consequence. See that you notify me too. I mean to depart for Doma as soon as I find a suitable East Aldenar vessel to bear me thither. But I shall return if I am needed. Be sure to drop in whenever you're next in the area, Niran. With any luck, I'll have painfully detailed report from Alpha Nose to share. Sure, in the meantime, all we can do is wait. I've learned to ponder. And that's part 3. Woo! Alright. Next up. Next stream. We go. And return to Ivalice, as well as the 4 lords. But for now, I'm going to quickly teleport back to my FC house and then call it... you know, I'll just call it here.